to 1:30 is the budget meeting.
That is correct.
Okay, and. All right.
You just need to flip back one tab.
Is that what it is?
There you are.
Thank you. Okay. Very nice. It is 1:07 and welcome to the Children's Services Council of Leon County's Finance and Budget Committee meeting. This meeting will go from now until probably just before 1:30 with a fairly short agenda. But at 1:30, we will roll into a budget workshop. So with that, if Ms. McPhail, could you call the order?
Ms. Richards? Here. Mr. Johnson?
Here.
Superintendent Hannah?
Here.
Mr. Jones? Chair Mitchell?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. The next item is Mr. Jones on the call.
So he is not at this time,
Okay.
if he's able to join. 'Cause
When he
joins
is, if
from
you'll
the
just let
car.
me know.
I will let you
Okay. Mr. Jones is not able to be here, but if you remember, our rules allow us to vote on him being able to participate virtually. So when he is available, I'll stop and we can add him. Item 3 is the approval of the agenda. It's a motion. Approve a motion. And a second, without objection, show the agenda approved. Ms. McPhail, are there any public comments?
There's no public comment.
Very nice. Item 5 is the review of the financials, and here's what I'll tell you all. We have not had a budget committee meeting for several months, and much of that was based on when our meetings were getting scheduled and when the overall council meeting was getting scheduled and when the financials were ready. So we have a little bit of catch up to do. All along to credit Mr. Grayson and Sika, they have provided the documentation. So I have the council meetings, I've been comfortable saying, you know, I move for approval of the financials. But we're gonna go a little bit deeper. And John, I know you're feeling a little bit under the weather, but I don't know if you want to tackle this, Sika, you want to tackle it. But item 5 is a review of the financials, which we need to vote on.
I don't have a problem doing that. So with the financials, you'll see that we of course start with the balance sheet there. These are as of the end of January. So you can see where our standing is there. If we flip to the next, which page am I looking for? I am looking for. So it would be page 3. That starts with ordinary income. So if you look at ordinary income, that shows our income and revenue, and you go down the right side and you'll see the percentages there. Nothing is out of whack there. And then when we get to the next page 1, which is income and expense, that shows you all of our income as well as the expense from the first 4 months of the fiscal year, October, November, December, and January. Again, nothing out of place. The only thing that I will bring to the committee's attention, and I did have an opportunity to share this with the treasurer maybe in January. It was brought to my attention by the property appraiser's office that we had not been invoiced for the fees that we paid them for collecting the taxes. So we paid 2 fees. One is to the tax collector's office, one is to the property appraiser's office. In the previous years, what the tax collector does is take the fee out before they transmit the money to our account. we assumed that that included whatever the property appraiser was charging us. I was notified that that was not the case. So this year, starting this fiscal year in October, we are paying the property appraiser their fee for their part in helping to collect and disperse our money. As such, we will eventually need to amend our budget a bit to allow for that fee. They invoice us at the beginning of every quarter. So we receive the first invoice in October, we receive the second invoice in January, we'll receive the third one in April, and then that last one during that last quarter. So we'll need to adjust our budget for that.
I'll make one clarification. The property appraiser has nothing to do with collecting and dispersing. They have simply multiplying the millage rate that we vote on times the property value. And with that, Mr. Johnson.
Well, my question is, so the property appraiser, is he now waking up to the fact that they have never billed us? So are they looking at retroactive taxes
No,
or
not at this
retroactive
time.
fees, or is this this cycle 10-1 forward?
Moving forward.
And we've
I have not,
We're-
let me be clear. I have not been notified that there will be retroactive
okay, that's fair.
action.
And do we know that there is a statutory provision or some rule that gives both the tax collector and the property appraiser the right to those fees? I knew the tax collector, but
Yeah,
Yes,
unfortunately, and again, it has been for 5 years. Something that has driven me crazy, but in statute, it allows them to.
and I don't know how, Mr. Chairman, that you'd like to go through these questions. I don't want to.
This is perfect.
monopolize, but
This is perfect.
I think I only have two. So do you want to go?
No, I was just piggybacking on Mr. Johnson's question. You know, we've been around for a while. He's been in office for a while. This is the first, they just realized they hadn't been charging us for the last 5 or 6 years,
I got a phone call.
or however many years, right? What is the annual fee for the appraiser?
Right at 2%.
Yeah,
So
it's,
combined, we're paying about 4% between the tax collector and the property appraiser.
2% of our annual revenues from property taxes. Okay.
it's about $200,000,
Little shy.
Yeah, little less,
Little
but-
shy.
just in round numbers amongst friends. But Sika's right, I think it's 186. It's just under $200,000.
So hopefully quickly, having looked at a few of these financials, I don't remember, and that could be my lack of recollection, but in the balance sheet, which would be page 1, just a quick explanation of what triggers grants paid in advance.
Yeah, I can probably answer that better. That is a year-end adjustment made by the auditors last year. We booked it and it's just been steady the whole time.
And I'm thinking of the mechanics of it. So is that funds that have been advanced to a grantee that they have not earned yet?
So if I may,
And we don't have to answer it now,
No,
but
no,
I'd
I
like to
can-
understand.
I can tell you what it is. If I may, this was started and added to the balance sheet when we were in the practice of advancing funds versus reimbursement. We
Understood.
are not in that practice anymore. So this is funding that they said we should list this way because we had advanced it in a year. So now what we do is when contracts are signed, we advance up to 20%, and then after that, it's a reimbursement.
And I'm used to or accustomed to certain recommendations from auditors that you need to record, but this one in particular, I would believe would have, I just want to understand, how does it reverse?
Yeah, I would imagine that at the end, when they finish their audit for last fiscal year, they're gonna have an entry for this to reverse. Because they've
Or
all been,
adjusted in some way?
correct, they've all been paid out and they're even now. They're getting paid.
Right.
Although, to Sika's point, there are grant recipients who can receive and most take advantage of that. So it is going to always be
rolled.
there.
I just
and-
don't remember the number being quite that large, but we've gotten larger, so I understand it. So I would just look to see, or maybe ask the auditors, what's the reversal on that? Or how does it work through? The other one is just, anytime something says other is always just a question mark for me of what falls in the bucket of other. There's other receivables or other current assets of 116,000, or those deposits that we've paid on accounts. And again, not a large enough number to slow us down. But it's on page 1 under other current assets, right below the grants paid in advance, other receivables, 116,006. I'm guessing we may have deposits floating around somewhere. But
Right, and this number has been steady. So I just went back to the November financials. This number has been steady since November. Which would make sense because we had funding that went out in advance. But we will get the answer to
Yeah,
that
that's
question.
And this will stay steady. I mean, we just haven't met since
Yeah.
that. I mean, that's,
no cause for alarm.
Right.
I'm just sitting there going, wanting to understand better. My last question, until hopefully not another one, is under ad valorem proceeds, I'm in the income statement.
Statement, yeah.
Page 2. I'm just looking on a fiscal year to date basis. We are trending behind what we had budgeted for that period of time. And I'm wondering, is that a timing difference, or is that in fact something that is a variance that we need to take into consideration in the budget?
So if you notice under there, you'll see October to January, and we're at about 8 million. Budgeted for 9 million. So we're actually ahead because we've still got February, March, April, May, June, July, August, and September, and we usually get in.
Well, my thought was this budget then is annual budget proceeds. That is not a
Yes.
adjusted for 4 months or
yeah,
5 months.
although if you think about when
I
property
see that.
taxes come in, they all come
All come in
in
front
at the
end.
very beginning,
Right.
although historically, I mean, bulk of them, that's why it's 8 million versus 9 million.
Right.
We will trickle in month after month after month.
Yep, okay.
About
So
$100,000
Yeah.
maybe, and
this number is
we're gonna end
still
up
right,
over. We're probably gonna end up over.
like we
the
do
9.
every year.
Which is my recollection.
Yes, yeah,
Um,
Sika's right. It's we,
Because right now we're tracking 957,000 under what the budgeted amount is. And we think over the course of the next few months, we'll catch that up.
historically, we have.
Historically, we
I stand out. Thank you, Mr. President.
Any other questions or anybody? Okay. All right, so
So Todd, hold on, I did have a question. So the review,
don't
No,
do
no,
that.
not
That's
yet.
for the workshop.
okay, so going back. Yeah, I'll just wait. I'll hold my question.
Yeah, because that's gonna confuse.
Okay, all right. Don't look at that.
it's tempting though, especially when it's highlighted. Okay, so did the chair join yet?
No.
No, okay,
Yes.
just want to make sure. Do we need to vote on the review of the financials to accept them for all since?
You would vote to recommend approval. Okay, he says he will join shortly and he's gonna let me know.
Okay, so if I can just get a motion, and this will be for essentially October 1 through January 31, a review of the financials and recommending to the full council that they accept that.
Motion.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Richards. I have a motion and a second by Mr. Johnson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Very good. Banking services update. You want to jump on it? Okay.
So as you remember, we did an RFQ. Service First was the bank that the council approved for us to transfer our funds. We had finished with that transfer, so we now have our checking and savings accounts at Service First. We've got our P cards issued in accordance with our policy with Service First. We are closing the accounts at Prime Meridian by 5 o'clock today. And what we did was transfer any money that was at Prime Meridian into Florida Class, because we can do that. And then our Prime Meridian accounts will be closed, and we'll be using Service First moving forward. Let me also use this opportunity to say that working with Service First has been seamless. Their customer service has been excellent. The online banking has been great, with the best part being the positive pay that allows us to go in and approve ACH as well as check cashing. And so it helps to safeguard fraud, because if we don't approve that, then they're going to automatically reject it. So it's been good. And I'm looking forward to a very good relationship with them.
Okay, well, I thank you and Holly for, I realized we had to speed up the procurement process, but I think we landed well. And Mr. Johnson.
I just had a question. So our ad valorem taxes, do those get ACH into our accounts, and all of that mapping and notification to the tax collector has been,
Yes.
so that mapping is moving to the new bank? And similarly on any outbound ACHs, those payments, I don't know, it's bill.com got ACH, so you've got new mapping on outbound payments. That's all been done.
And we whitelisted bill.com, so we won't have to do it every time.
Right.
And then the property appraiser, of course, had a form we had to fill out, so we filled that out with them. So that's where our proceeds will move.
And the other thing is the payroll, and they've been notified, and it should click on the next payroll.
Is that ADP?
Paychecks.
Did the property taxes go into our checking account or into FL Class?
Checking account.
We move,
And
when we see it getting heavy, we move it out of
Right.
the FL Class. But yes, to answer the
Yeah,
question.
I guess, I mean, based on, and by the way, and I'm gonna get the name right this time, Service with an SE first. It is, has given us an attractive interest rate, but it's still below what we can get in FL Class. And every day that we can have money generating more interest means that we can pay the property appraiser to multiply 0.34 whatever times the value of the property. So it's, I mean, that's where the money should be sitting, except that which you need to pay your bills. So it may be something you want to consider sending it direct, like one day is a lot of money.
So we try to keep the checking and savings accounts balances at about 200 in savings and no more than 800 in checking. And so John every month kind of looks at that and moves it over. I will check and see if FL Class will take an ACH from the property appraiser.
They do from.
They'll take it from
all, they'll do it from the city, they do it from all of their government entities who issued bonds. The bonds are.
Okay, we'll check.
Again, it's float for one day, I mean, maybe, but it's, I don't know, 5,000 here, 8,000 there, it begins to add up. If we can't, we can't. I asked you this in our meeting, Sika, are there in the new banking relationship that we have, in addition to the anti-fraud or fraud protection provision, are there other things that you all are seeing that are good because of the relationship with Service First?
Sure, I think the P card is one of the real advantages of being a service first, because the way that their portal works, once you make the purchase and get the receipt, you can take a picture of it and it automatically attaches to the purchase. So it saves us time from having to pull a statement and then having individual team members then upload receipts to go with the statement, which is what Dina is in charge of doing. So it removes that step and puts the onus on the P card user. And so now when you go in, which we both have the ability to go in, when you pull it up and click, you'll actually see the manual receipt that goes along with that purchase. It also has expense reporting capabilities, which we aren't using yet. A lot of expense reporting capabilities that at the point where we're starting to use that, the team member can go into the portal, make sure all their expenses are there, hit submit, and it goes to one of us to look at and approve. So there are lots of capabilities there that we are just onboarding one at a time. The website is very easy to use. Yeah, it's been a great experience. We also have the ability to do everything digitally, so we don't have to physically go to the brick and mortar, which is nice. And we also have the ability to remote deposit. So when we get checks from providers, let's say we do their reconciliation and at the end they owe $1,500, they can bring us a cashier's check and I have the ability to scan that, automatically endorse it, and it automatically goes into the account. So it just makes it a lot easier from the point of view of managing the banking itself.
Mr. Grayson, I don't know.
That was it.
Okay.
Those are scanning checks. We don't go that often, but at least we can.
Okay. The next, do we have the next meeting set? I know we are trying to fix the dates so that it will, yeah, we won't run into several months of.
So April 8th, I'm out of town. I mean, not that that matters. Yeah.
Once we have pretty.
Okay.
And if there are, we'll send out all of the backup, if you have questions. So yeah, Sika, we can raise them at the meeting. Very nice, all right. Any members who would like to comment on anything before we jump into perfect time into the workshop? All right, it is officially 1:30. Look at us, right on time. And the meeting is adjourned. We'll take 2 minutes for a comfort break and allow